Good day everyone. We are now going to discuss about basic concepts of stocks and bonds. Stocks. Some corporations may raise their money for their expansion by issuing stocks. Stocks are shares in the ownership of the company. Owners of the stocks may be considered as part owners of the company. There are two types of stocks: common stock and preferred stock. Both will receive dividends or share of earnings of the company. Common stock. Common stock is a security that represents ownership in a corporation. Holders of common stock elect the board of directors and vote on corporate policies. This form of equity ownership typically yields higher rates of return long term. However, in the event of liquidation, common shareholders have rights to a company's assets only after bondholders, preferred shareholders, and other debt holders are paid in full. Common stock is reported in the stockholders' equity section of the company's balance sheet. Preferred stock. Preferred stock is a special type of stock that pays a set schedule of dividends and does not come with voting rights. Preferred stock combines aspects of both common stock and bonds in one security, including regular income and ownership in the company. Investors buy preferred stock to bolster their income and also get certain tax benefits. Stocks can be bought or sold at its current price called the market value. When a person buys some shares, the person receives a certificate with corporation's name, owner's name, number of shares, and par value per share. Bonds. Interest-bearing security which promises to pay amount of money on a certain security date in the bond certificate. Bondholders are lenders to the institution, which may be a government or private company. Some bond issuers are the national government, government agencies, government-owned and controlled corporations, non-bank corporations, and multilateral agencies. Bondholders do not vote in the institution's annual meeting, but the first to claim in the institution's earnings. On the maturity date, the bondholders will receive the face amount of the bond. Let's have a comparison between stocks and bonds. Stocks is a form of equity financing or raising money by allowing investors to be part of owners of the company. Bonds is a form of debt financing or raising money by borrowing from investors. In stocks, stock prices vary every day. These prices are reported in various media like newspaper, TV, internet, and etc. In bonds, investors are guaranteed interest payments and a return of their money at the maturity date. In stocks, investing in stock involves some uncertainty. Investors can earn if the stock prices increase, but they can lose money if the stock prices decrease, or worse, if the company goes bankrupt. In bonds, uncertainty comes from the ability of the bond issuer to pay the bondholders. Bonds issued by the government pose less risk than those companies because the government has guaranteed funding or taxes from which it can pay its loans. In stocks, higher risk but with possibility of higher returns. In bonds, lower risks but lower yield. In stocks, it can be appropriate if the investment for the long term or 10 years or more. This allows investors to wait stock prices to increase if ever they go low. In bonds, it can be appropriate for retirees because of the guaranteed fixed income, or for those who need the money soon because they cannot afford to take a chance at the stock market. Now let's have a definition of terms in relation to stocks. Stocks, share in the ownership of a company. Dividend, share in the company's profit. Dividend per share, ratio of the dividends to the number of shares. Stock market, a place where the stocks can be bought or sold. The stock market in the Philippines is governed by the Philippine Stock Exchange or PSE. Market value, the current price of a stock at which it can be sold. Stock yield ratio, ratio of the annual dividend per share and the market value per share, also called current stock yield. Par value, the per share amount as stated in the company's certificate. Unlike market value, it is determined by the company and remains stable over time. Definition of terms in relation to bonds. Bond, interest-bearing security which promises to pay stated amount of money on the maturity date, and regular interest payments called coupons. Coupon, periodic interest payment that the bondholder receives during the time between purchase date and the maturity date, usually received semi-annually. Coupon rate, the rate per coupon payment period, denoted by R. Price of a bond, the price the bond at purchase time, denoted by P. Par value or face value, the amount payable on the maturity date, denoted by F. If P is equal to F, or the price of the bond is equal to the face value, the bond is purchased at par. If P is less than F, the bond is purchased at a discount. If P is greater than F, the bond is purchased at premium. Term or tenure of a bond, fixed period of time in years at which the bond is redeemable as stated in the bond certificate. Number of years from the time of purchase to maturity date. Fair price of a bond. Present value of all cash inflows to the bondholder. Now let's have the assessment. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. It is the ratio of the annual dividend per share and the market value per share, also called current stock yield. A. Stock yield ratio. B. Market value. C. Par value. Or D. Dividend per share. You have 5 seconds to answer. Number 2. These are interest-bearing security which promises to pay amount of money on a certain security date in the bond certificate. A. Dividend. B. Stocks. C. Bonds. Or D. Coupon. Number 3. It is a periodic interest payment that the bondholder receives during the time between the purchase date and maturity date, usually received semi-annually. A. Dividend. B. Stocks. C. Bond. Or D. Coupon. Number 4. It is a special type of stock that pays a set schedule of dividends and does not come with voting rights. A. Common stock. B. Preferred stock. C. Par value. Or D. Bonds. If P is greater than F, or the price of the bond is greater than the face value, then the bond is purchased at A. Par. B. A discount. C. Premium. or D, none of the above? Now here are the answers. Number 1, A. Number 2, C. Number 3, D. Number 4, B. Number 5, C. Now here are the references from General Mathematics DepEd Teaching Guide, Investopedia.com, and Forbes.com. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Please subscribe to Analyze Math for more on business mathematics.